Hey guys, Get Right Gamer here with another, just my first review on Xbox One X versus PS4 Pro. And today I'm going to be reviewing which one's better, whether it's Xbox One X or PS4 Pro. So let's head right on in. So most people would say it's PS4 Pro at this point. Well, if in my opinion, I would say PS4 Pro. For many reasons, because it came out first, and because PS4 did quite a bit of research, I'm guessing that PS4 Pro decided to share the research, and that's how it's slightly better, because generally Xbox One X is better for graphics, sound and everything, because it's dead silent. When you turn your PS4 on in the morning, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner. Oh my god, turn this rubbish off. And when you turn a disc on, the Xbox One X really doesn't make that much sound. It might go, but not like, yeah, so the footage, a review by IGN, which is like a gaming company, a review by them, I'll show you the footage, and yeah.
Microsoft's positioned the $500 Xbox One X as the most powerful console ever made. That's a claim that's easily backed up by the stunning visual and performance upgrades for both its first-party games and select enhanced multi-platform games. That gives the One X a noticeable advantage over its closest competitor, the $400 PS4 Pro. The catch of this slender, cool, and dead quiet console is that its value is dependent on developers updating their games to make the most of it. Like the One S, the One X can be laid horizontally or vertically and has an internal power supply, so there's no bulky power brick to deal with any longer. Its black matte plastic casing is sleek, but not quite as attractive as the semi-perforated shell and striking white finish Microsoft presented with the One S. And it comes with one standard Xbox One controller in the box. What's under the hood is much more admirable. A faster processor, ample GPU, and sizable high-speed GDDR5 memory all give it an advantage over the PlayStation 4 Pro. And at just 11.8 inches long, 9.4 inches wide, and 2.4 inches high, the Xbox One packs it all into an efficiently compact space that's around 15% smaller than the PS4 Pro, and yet about 15% heavier at 8.4 pounds. It's also as remarkably quiet as the One S, even when it's working hard, and never got warm enough that overheating in a confined space would ever be a concern. In fact, the Xbox One X runs only a few degrees warmer than the One S during 4K enhanced gameplay, and averaged around 15 degrees cooler than the PS4 Pro during our testing. But how much better do all those impressive sounding numbers make your games? It's a complicated question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. While any Xbox game you load up will take advantage of the One X's power to run better than it does on the One S, and Microsoft has a list of over 100 existing and upcoming games that are or will be enhanced, the level of enhancement depends on how much support each respective developer has put in, so mileage will vary. The good news is that Microsoft's most popular first-party games have received the royal treatment. Gears of War 4 is a prime example. It supports native 4K resolution and high-definition textures to match, HDR10 for improved color depth and contrast, plus enhanced graphical features. Maybe most importantly of all, the frame rate in the campaign and horde modes is boosted so you can get up to 60 frames per second if you select the performance option in the menu. When all of that is working together, Gears of War 4 on the One X is dramatically smoother and a sharper, deeper visual experience than it is on the One S. and even without HDR, or if you're hooked up to a 1080p display, it's still an obvious upgrade. Likewise, Killer Instinct looks and runs great at 4K and 60 frames per second, though its stylized art doesn't benefit as much from the higher resolution treatment as it does in Gears of War 4. Forza Motorsport 7 is a stunning showcase of the One X in native 4K at a steady 60 frames per second with HDR. It's a beautiful experience. But note that it looks even better than we can show here since this footage isn't in HDR. Outside of Microsoft's own games, results are inconsistent. Testing enhanced versions of Assassin's Creed Origins and Middle-earth: Shadow of War in both their high-resolution and performance modes reveal noticeable improvements even over the PS4 Pro, with cleaner textures, improved shadows, a modest reduction in load times, and better performance depending on the setting. However, games like World of Tanks, Disneyland Adventures, and Super Lucky's Tale mostly get things like minor visual enhancements and frame rate improvements over the One S. It's clear after testing that the One X is the best console for cross-platform games, but the inconsistency of third-party enhancement makes it almost as much of a guessing game as the PS4 Pro. Unless developers specifically spell out what they've done, as is the case with Square Enix and Rise of the Tomb Raider, you don't know what kind of improvements you're going to be getting. But when a game takes full advantage of everything the Xbox One can do, there's a downside. 4K textures are huge. The enhanced versions of both Gears of War 4 and Forza Motorsport 7 weigh in at around a chubby 103 and 95 gigabytes each, respectively, which is roughly double their install size on the One S. The One X has a 1 terabyte internal hard drive, but at this rate that's going to be consumed just as quickly as the original Xbox One's 500 gigabyte hard drive. Storage space can be easily expanded with any USB hard drive, but that's an extra expense you have to account for on top of this premium console. These monster file sizes can also have an impact on install and load times because so much data needs to be transferred. For example, loading the first campaign level of the native 4K enhanced version of Gears of War 4 took One X roughly 20 seconds, compared to 10 seconds on a One S. However, Assassin's Creed Origins and Shadow of War both regularly loaded faster on the One X than on the PS4 Pro, while loading times on other unenhanced games appeared inconsistent. Like the One S before it, the One X is now the most appealing console for home theater enthusiasts thanks to its Ultra HD Blu-ray drive and Dolby Atmos audio support. That ability to play 4K movies off of physical media is something the competing PlayStation 4 Pro strangely doesn't offer. Beyond that, the One X includes a number of cool upgrades like 4K support for DVR game clips and easy transfer of data between your Xbox consoles through external hard drives or your home network. And with such a focus on visuals, the handy TV calibration and compatibility features help you to ensure your display is hitting the right notes for HDR enhanced games. The long-standing issues with the sluggish dashboard are rectified as well with the newly updated UI, which runs even snappier on the One X. The Xbox One X is a very impressive collection of hardware crammed into a sleek case. It runs cool and quiet as it delivers performance a step above any of its console competitors. It's hard to believe Microsoft exclusives like Gears of War 4 can look so good and run so smoothly on a box that costs less than half of what you pay for a high-end gaming PC. Plus, it caters to home theater enthusiasts with 4K UHD Blu-ray playback and Atmos sound. Though much of the Xbox One X's impact depends on developer support and the quality of your display, it delivers exactly what was promised. The most powerful console you can buy right now, by a significant margin, and one with plenty of potential left to tap. If you want to see exactly what comes in the retail Xbox One X, you can check out our unboxing. See how the console stacks up by watching our visual history of the entire line of Xbox consoles, or see the dramatic difference between the One X and the One S in our Gears of War 4 graphics comparison.
Yeah guys, so I think it's safe to say that that Xbox One X, seriously, those graphics are off those charts. I mean, like, come on. In Gears of War 4, those blood explosions everywhere are like proper 4K gaming. And I think if I had that, because currently I have a PS4 Slim, if I had that, I would trade it in for a PS4 Slim, but PS4 Pro, I think I'll keep that rather than Xbox One X, because really, I'm more into the gaming facilities than the graphics and everything. Plus, PS4 Pro is 60 FPS anyway, so really, there was light difference and shadows were better, but those are slight touch-ups. So really, I think I would rather go with PS4 Pro. Anyway, here I'm going to show you a clip of an IGN review again about the PS4 Pro, and I'm going to be doing the winner at the end and any upcoming consoles, so let's head right in.
With the PlayStation 4 Pro, Sony looks to step into new territory by offering a mid-cycle, higher-power version of its successful PlayStation 4. On paper, the Pro certainly has the credentials to significantly enhance existing and future PlayStation 4 games, but in practice, the results range from good to underwhelming depending on what game you're playing and what kind of screen you're playing on. Physically, the Pro packs a lot of potential in a relatively efficient space. The additional 1 gig of DRAM, the second GPU, and the extra power required to feed it don't add as much bulk as you'd imagine, or from how it looks in pictures. At 11.6 inches wide, 2.2 inches high, and 12.9 inches long, it can fit into practically all the same space as your launch PS4 can, unless it was a really snug fit already. It is significantly heavier though, by around 30%. The Pro sports 2 USB ports together in the front and 1 more on the back, which is great for hooking up a PSVR. The Pro thankfully also has an optical audio port, unlike the new slim PS4. Dolby Digital headset users can breathe a sigh of relief. Overall, its weight, curved lines, and glossy finished PlayStation logo give the Pro a substantial, premium feel, but the cheap-feeling eject and power buttons, which are comically tiny, betray the aesthetic just a bit. Other than that, this is mostly the same PS4 we know and love. That also means there's unfortunately no support for 4K Blu-ray playback. Of course, the big new feature is the ability to output at true 4K 2160p if you have a TV to support it. However, the actual resolution of each game is up to its developers, so your results will vary. Currently, all games that support the PS4 Pro offer some form of higher resolution setting, but few are actually rendered natively at 4K, resulting in mixed visual impact on 4K monitors. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and Rise of the Tomb Raider, for instance, both look fantastic with the enhanced resolution option selected on a 4K screen. Lighting has a wider color range, and everything looks significantly cleaner, especially around the edges. Particularly with Mordor, everyone who walked by while I was playing stopped to gawk, even though it's now a 3-year-old game. On the other end of the spectrum is something like Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Not only is it hard to find any appreciable difference in visual quality, but the higher resolution seems to cause deeper frame rate dips that I remember seeing when I played through originally on PlayStation 4. The Pro's power isn't just for people with 4K monitors though. When developers choose to take advantage of it, there are some nice visual upgrades for the vast majority of us still on 1080p sets. But again, that varies game to game. Shadow of Mordor, Infamous Second Son, and Rise of the Tomb Raider are good examples of what full-featured Pro support can look like. They give you options. Infamous and Tomb Raider offer a high frame rate option, and especially in the case of Tomb Raider, this boosted performance dramatically over the standard PS4 version. Simply put, while the ambiguously named Enhanced Visuals options helped some shaders and reflective surfaces pop a bit more, the difference is negligible compared to the roughly 50 to 100% increase in performance that I witnessed. I hope developers provide the high frame rate option on every game going forward. The big issue here, even with the games that leverage the Pro well, is the lack of consistency and clarity regarding what enhancements you're getting from game to game and even from mode to mode. Mordor in high resolution mode super samples on a 1080p TV for a smoother image, but do other games do that and just not mention it? I don't know, and neither will you. Most of the time you just don't know what you're getting. The PS4 Pro is a premium-looking machine that offers a lot of extra power for developers to exploit, but right now, even on a 4K screen, the differences are only sometimes stark enough to make standard PS4 owners jealous. What's worse, there's simply no way to reliably know what enhancements you'll have to choose from. In time, with more support, the PS4 Pro has the raw power to potentially deliver greatly enhanced graphics, but right now, it's just too much of a crapshoot. For everything on the PlayStation 4 Pro, stay right here on IGN.
Graphics in Fortnite right now is sick. Plus, the only 3 issues that I have, well maybe 4, 3 issues I have with the PS4 Pro: too bulky, too much sound. Yeah, that's it. And oh yeah, and you need a monitor to support that, kind of. Because I mean, there's no point having like a 120p running device and then having a 4K PlayStation. Like, it just won't work. But yeah. So if you were distracted by watching both videos again, me, not you, but you can rewind and I'll leave a link in the description to the videos. But I'll watch and I'll say who's the winner on any upcoming consoles. Like I said, yeah. So guys, I'm back with the results. And I'm sorry to say that, well, Xbox One X is the winner. No, it got a higher review than PS4 Pro in general. And really, the graphics on that are just so realistic. I just can't believe it. So, Xbox One X is the winner. I'm sorry if you're a PS4 fan, but PS4 are gone. I did say that I would be doing any upcoming consoles, and I have a theory that PS4 Pro could be PS5, because PS5 has not officially been announced by Sony that its release date coming out in so and so, but people are saying it might come out in 2018 March, or possibly even 2020 March. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and peace out.